3 ways to help you raise courageous kids. That's coming up next. Hi, I'm Chad Bullock, the founder of Future Proof Kids and the Ready, Aim, Parent podcast, where we help you teach kids the skills that really matter in business and life. The other day, our 9-year-old son had some of his friends over after school, and they were playing in the backyard, and we have a tree house back there, and there's a platform attached to it where they can ride a zip line across our yard, off the platform down into the yard. And the kids were having an absolute blast playing out there together, but there was one boy that was a little afraid of doing it. He was afraid of being up there high, hanging from that wire and flying across the yard. So with a little bit of encouragement from his friends and having watched them do it for a little while, and of course we coached him along too, he finally grabbed hold of that zip line and he rode across the yard, and I caught him when he got to the other side so he didn't feel scared and put him down. And he had the biggest grin on his face. And he said, "That wasn't so bad after all." And a few seconds later, he was back up there doing it again and again, just like all the other kids. You know, it's these little courageous victories that can help set kids up for a lifetime of happiness and success. Mark Twain once said, "Courage is not the absence of fear, it is acting in spite of it." Courage is so important for our kids to develop. It will give them the confidence to take risks, and having confidence to take risks is critical in life. You know, when you're a kid, you need courage to talk to someone new that first day you go to school, or when you're trying a new sport and everyone's watching you. Or maybe taking that step off the platform to ride the zip line. And what's super important is that we don't let our fears define us. Our fears can turn into personality traits that we've predetermined for ourselves. Now, let me say that again because it's really important. Our fears can turn into personality traits that we've predetermined for ourselves, and that holds us back. For instance, did you fear public speaking as you were growing up, so you avoided it, you never did it, and now you've decided that, that's just not you and you're not good at it? Or maybe you are struggling with your weight right now and you fear going to the gym because people might stare at you. And so you've just kind of decided, I'll always be overweight, that's who I am. Our fears can hold us back from living a fulfilling life, growing personally, and really cause us to miss out on opportunities. It can be so easy for us to take a fear and simply decide this is just who I am. And that's ultimately limiting ourselves in who we can become, what we can do, and enjoying our life. And I know you as a parent don't want your kids to have limiting beliefs about themselves and what they can do or who they can become. So today, we're going to talk about 3 tips to help you raise courageous kids. Number 1, practice doing courageous acts. Do you know something that might be a little scary or intimidating for your kids? Go do it. As a matter of fact, right now, write down 3 things and do 1 each month with your kids. Schedule it and go do it. Courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And each time your kids will see themselves overcoming something they fear, and that courage muscle gets even stronger for them every time. Number 2, if your kids are afraid of something, repeated exposure to that thing will make a big difference. According to Philip Golden, he's a Stanford neuroscientist who specializes in anxiety disorders. He said that exposure is hands down the most successful way to deal with anxiety disorders and everyday fears of any sort that we have. That's because study after study has revealed that whether it's skydiving or public speaking, simply repeatedly exposing ourselves to that thing we're afraid of, ideally in a positive way, of course, gradually brings down that physiological fear response that we have until it's gone, or it's at least manageable. For instance, if your child has a shy personality, you might start off with getting them to order their own food at a restaurant. And really look for opportunities for your kids to speak up around others. At church, extracurricular activities, in the classroom, making announcements, anywhere they can speak up around other people and start to have repeated exposure to that thing they fear so they become comfortable with it. Number 3, positive visualization. There's been a lot of talk about visualization and goal setting and how it helps you there, but it's also a great tool for overcoming fear too. You know, each of us creates our own reality by how we picture life in our minds. And visualization can help us alter limiting mindsets. And it's really fun too. I mean, you're literally telling your kids to go daydream. Daydreaming with a purpose. So coach your kids through visually thinking about actually doing what it is they fear. Find out what it is that they do fear about that thing and help them visualize how they'd overcome it. And if you do that with them, they'll be so much better prepared because they have visualized themselves succeeding the next time they step up to go do it in reality. So remember, do something courageous every month. Expose your kids to their fears again and again and find gradual progress each time. And help them visualize doing it with a positive outcome. If you do these things with your kids, one day they'll have the courage to step off that platform and you'll get the joy of seeing them fly, and you'll know you had a part in shaping who they are. Do that, you'll be raising a future-proof kid. Did you like this episode? If you did, head on over to futureproofkids.com. We have a free video on 8 skills that will future-proof your kids. And soon after, we'll be inviting you to a free 4-part training on future-proofing your kids. Come on over and join other parents already deciding to parent with purpose every day. Until next time, keep future-proofing your kids.